First of all, I never demo when I teach, and today I'll demo the whole class with you. So I am going to go ahead and just forgive myself for anything weird I do. There's no doubt that I'm going to fall over in some balancing pose. I'm absolutely going to breathe heavy. I'm a little nervous right now, which is funny because I've been saying, I'm doing pretty good, like even with all this stress out there. And then Jordan this morning, we were eating French toast and his knife and fork scraped the plate and made that really loud sound. And my eye immediately started twitching, which just sort of let me know like, no, we're like completely on edge right now. We're all totally on edge, despite the hilarious memes and all of the great cooking and all of the great connecting that we're doing. This is just absolutely a pretty oppressive time for our nervous systems. So whether or not we think that we are having a nervous system response, we probably are, right? It's pretty unlikely that anyone is just sailing through this feeling absolutely perfectly fine. So the whole point of this class is dedicated to a little text message thread that I had with my mom, with Deb. I texted her, maybe the world is ending. And with like, within a heartbeat, she just responded back so quickly, maybe the world is beginning. And of course, during my own like self-practice on the mat by myself, having this thought around how helpful it is to take really big inhales to get completely as full as possible. And then not only just to like exhale, but to exhale completely, everything out of the body. And it kind of made me think of this text thread that I had with her, right? The beginning and the end. And what happens when we fully inhale into our entire lungs is we let all the nerve endings in the lower portion know that they're being accessed. And when we breathe really deeply, it's actually a signal that we can go back into parasympathetic mode, which is the mode that the nervous system is in when it's not freaked out. So little nerdy, sciencey stuff here, but on the inhale, you are activating your sympathetic nervous system, which is the one connected to fight, flight, freeze. And on the exhale, we're connecting to a parasympathetic. So that inhale and that exhale actually create something called the heart rate variability. And the higher your heart rate variability is, the more in flow you can be. So this whole practice is just dedicated to breathing in really full and exhaling out completely. And if you decide that you literally just want to sit on your mat and listen, that's great. This is just about having some time to get out of our own little heads, breathe really big, exhale completely. That's really all that we're doing. Throughout the little practice that we're gonna do, I will cue movements with breath. So I'll say things like inhale, rise up, exhale, warrior two, things like that. But you absolutely are encouraged not to do those movements right along with my words. Do them with your actual cadence of your breath. So see how long you can inhale up into something and how big you can exhale open into something. So really follow your own breath. We are going to take communal audible exhales. So no one can hear you because I've muted you all. But there are going to be a couple different times or a couple different types that we'll take. And I'll cue them like this. I'll say, exhale, empty everything out. And you'll go with an SH, everything out all the way, all the way, all the way. And you'll take a big inhale, maybe through your nose. And then you'll do an HA, kind of loud like that. So other people in your house may be like, what is going on? And if it's too weird, that's fine. But know that other people are doing it with you. And certainly any of my fellow yoga teachers are absolutely HAing like there's no tomorrow right now. We'll also take HMs sometimes. So that sounds like a long HM. Sometimes I'll cue taking a lip flutter, which is kind of like a horse breath. And that's so that we can remind ourselves to loosen our throat, our jaw, our brow as we go. All right, so that's the breath thing. We are also going to do something that we call one breath, one movement. So I'll show you a sequence and then I'll invite you to do that sequence with your own breath, one breath, one movement. You'll see what I'm talking about, but we'll do something like a crescent lunge to a warrior two, and we'll hold both of those postures. And after we're done with doing that on both sides, you'll then have the opportunity to move through that with no pausing, but I'll be doing it with you. And during those times, you're also always, 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 always invited just to take a child's pose, or you can rest on your back, whatever feels more comfortable. And I'm sorry I'm looking at my phone here, but I wrote all these notes down for myself so that I didn't miss anything. Okay, you are definitely your own best teacher. So if there's anything that I say that you're like, she must not be talking to me, then honor that knowing and don't do what I say. And that includes popping out of this class. If you're like, this is just actually making me stressed out, then, you know, try it another time or forget it altogether. No judgments at all. All right, go ahead and have your playlist up. Yes, at the very end, we go into corpse pose or shavasana where you're laying on your back. And traditionally in a lot of yoga spaces, we take people out of that and we come and we might even like, people will om together and say namaste, goodbye, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let you stay in your space. So be prepared for the video just to end. And if you've got music on, you just keep on letting it play. And you're gonna stay there in your shavasana for as long as you need to. The reason I don't like to take people out of it is that I have no idea when your shavasana is supposed to be over, right? And definitely if you're in a yoga space, you're gonna hear people roll up their mats and walk by your head. Now you're in your home and there's all sorts of different distractions going on. And I don't wanna be an additional distraction that pulls you out of your shavasana. So essentially, you're gonna get to lay in that space for as long as you need to and collect yourself and be with your breath for as long as you like. Okay, now, time to get started. So we are gonna go ahead and start in a child's pose. Or actually, you know what? We're gonna start kneeling in the center of the mat. I'm gonna face you in this direction right now, but eventually I'm gonna move and face that direction. But for right now, I'm gonna kneel in the center of my mat. My hips are on my heels. You're welcome to be cross-legged if that's more comfortable, and you can even do this sitting on a couch. So we're gonna start with your right fingertips on the ground, your left fingertips on the ground rather. Take a big inhale, reach your right arm up and over with your right palm facing the sky. Left ear to your left shoulder. One more big inhale and exhale your hand back down. And then inhale the other arm up. And we're gonna hold this first one for a moment. And one more big inhale. And then you're gonna move with your breath a couple more times. So this is sort of like a one breath, one movement. And that's what we'll be calling it. One more time on each side. All right, and then bring your palms to the tops of your thighs. I'm gonna get rid of my crazy cult leader scarf. And with your hands on top of your thighs, we're gonna do a little cat-cow motion here. So on an inhale, lift your heart, lift your throat, arc your spine. And on an exhale, press into your thighs, round your spine, tuck your chin. Two more. All right, and then the next time that you come up, you're gonna stay right there kneeling. Next time you lift your heart, let your fingertips dangle on the ground and think belly to thighs. Release your forehead down. And if this is not sustainable right here, then you just find a position that is, including lying on your back with your knees bent. Or if this version of a child's pose is way too constrictive, you can spread your knees really wide right away. If you're able to breathe here, feel your forehead on the ground. You can rock side to side. And then we're going to start with a breath here. So exhale everything out. Big inhale. One more sip. HM. And then start to send your arms out in front of you. Press into your palms so that you can spread your knees really wide now. Hips come back to the heels and let your forehead come back down to the mat. And with your arms out in front of you, keep a little bit of a bend to your elbows so that you can really let your forearms go heavy into the floor and so that your neck can kind of release. And then from here, big inhales, complete exhales. You may even feel a little bit of an activation of your lower abdomen every time you exhale here. And you might even feel a little bit of a drag of your forehead back to your tailbone because you're really emptying everything out. If you want to add on, you can close your eyes and look at the center of your forehead. It's going to feel like a little bit of a subtle eye stretch. And if you're looking at the center of your forehead, the last piece of work is to see if you can release a little tension in your neck. If you choose to come back to a child's pose, this is what you're coming back to. Big inhales, complete exhales, a fixed targeted vision at the center of your forehead. And then the attempt to release something. All right. From here, start to walk your fingertips forward, reaching all the way forward. And then walk your hands up and over to the left side of your mat. Stack your right hand on top of your left hand. And start to roll your right shoulder down and breathe into the right side of your body. And one more big breath on your timing. And walk your hands back through center and all the way up and over to the right side. And stack your left hand now on top of your right. See if you can roll your shoulder, your left shoulder down to the ground. 2 more rounds of your breath here. Then you'll come back to center and you'll tent up on your fingertips. And you're going to find a couple little cat cows here. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, round your spine. Press into your fingertips, tuck your chin. One more time. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, round, 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 round. And then inhale up into a tabletop. All right, so take a moment just to feel your shoulders stacking right over your wrists. Feel your hips stacking right over your knees. You can have your toes curled under, or you can press the tops of your feet into the floor. Whatever you do, really feel for the support of the lower half of your body. Press down through the center of your palm and spread your 10 fingers out as much as you can. Send your gaze like 12 inches in front of your fingertips. Notice if this helps you find a longer throat and a longer back of your neck here. Exhale, empty everything out. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Keep moving with your breath. And you're welcome to break the shape apart so you could find a C curve where you sort of peek back to one hip bone and then the other. You can find a gentle spinal twist by dropping one elbow down to the floor, looking up over the opposite shoulder. And you can make big hip circles, or maybe some shapes that I just don't really know how to describe, some weirdo things. Give yourself another 2 or 3 rounds of breath to even out. And then come back to a neutral tabletop. Okay, so oftentimes in yoga classes, we talk about the chaturanga flow. And that's this like really kind of extreme asana for a lot of people. Really, a flow is just 2 or 3 full rounds of breath that are rinsing us out in between postures. And there's so many different options. I'm going to take you through a bunch of them, and you're welcome to take any one you want anytime we flow. Okay. But I'm going to show you one of my favorites. So it's 2 rounds of breath. It's an inhale to a cow. It's an exhale to a cat. It's an inhale to a cow. Curl your toes under, exhale, down dog. All right, so let's all meet in a down dog and pedal it out. So you can bend your knee and send your opposite heel down and back. You can do this real slow. Or maybe for you, you're feeling like you want to kind of giddy up and do this a little quicker. And right about now, I'm just like really forgiving myself for having my midsection show and doing this in front of you guys. So I hope you're doing the same for yourself. All right, now really spread your 10 fingers out. Feel the webbing in between your fingers. Think about pressing down into the place where your thumb and your pointer finger meet. And then spread your feet the whole width of your mat. So get really wide. Come up on your tippy toes. Bend your knees and press your tailbone up and back. Pull your belly up and in. Start to lower your heels a little further down to the ground, but they don't need to touch. Keep a little bend in your knees, and then think about wagging your tail like you were a dog, side to side. Give yourself a couple breaths here. All right. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Find a forward fold at the back edge of your mat. Feet are wide here. Keep a little bend to your knees. Let your head go heavy, like the crown of your head could fall through the floor. If you want, you can spider crawl your fingers over to one side, maybe over to the other. You can reach for opposite elbow to give a little bit more weight in the upper body. If you reach for opposite elbow, give yourself a couple breaths and then switch up your grip. Find your other opposite elbow. It's kind of like trying to sit cross-legged in the opposite orientation than we're used to. Our fascia gets like encoded with our choices. And so sometimes when we try to find the other opposite elbow, it doesn't even feel like it belongs to us, but I assure you it does. Take one more big inhale, send it up behind your heart. And exhale, let your fingertips dangle down by the ground. Find your feet hips width distance. And that might be about 6 to 8 inches. All right, from here, tuck your chin, keep a bend to your knees, and slowly roll up to standing. And when you get to the top, you're gonna wanna fix your clothes. You can fix your clothes if you need to, but see if you can just let them be where they are. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Just stand here for a moment. And then start to think about finding legs like a mountain. And so with a mountain, the base of the mountain is always wider, right? So press down and away into the pinky toe side edges of your feet, like you're trying to rip your mat in two pieces. You might feel the muscles on the outer edges of your hips and your thighs engage. You might feel like your shins are trying to squeeze apart from one another. And once you've got that, think about lifting all 10 toes up off the floor. Notice if any other muscles in your legs engaged. Now find your big toe mound. It's the place where your big toe connects to the ball of your foot, and stomp down into that place. So this might give you a sensation of squeezing your inner thighs. So what we're going for is pressing down and away and also stomping down through the big toe mound. From here, lean the weight back into the heels a little bit and notice how you have to pull your belly up and in so that you don't fall backwards. So with all this work in the legs and all this work in the belly, let's find some muscles that can relax. Let's start with the jaw. Release the face. Try to loosen up the brow. And then send your arms up into the air. Peel your pinky fingers towards one another so your palms are facing one another. This broadens the back of your shoulders so that you can start to drop your shoulders away from your ears. Think about really spreading your 10 fingertips wide so you feel the webbing in between your fingers, and wrap your biceps around your bones, but then see if you could melt the tops of your shoulders. So we said in the beginning, you're your own best teacher. Imagine someone was behind you right now, just gently softening the tops of your shoulders, maybe even giving you a little back rub. So release down. On your next inhale, reach up out of your waistband and exhale your hands down the center, all the way forward fold, let it go. Inhale, roll up, reach up, and exhale all the way down. This last one's all you. Get totally empty and then ride your inhale up. from your forward fold. Inhale and do a half lift, and you're gonna press into, I said don't worry about your clothes, and here I am being like all fancy with my clothes. Press into your thighs, okay? So even if you're used to doing your half lift here or here, you're gonna press into your thighs so that you can really squeeze your shoulder blades together and think about pulling your ears away from your shoulders. Take a big inhale and exhale into a chair. Keep your hands on your thighs, and we're gonna find some cat-cows here, okay? We're gonna find 4. And stay in your chair, reach your arms up. Okay, now imagine you are still finding those big movements with the breath. On inhales, you might lift your fingertips a little higher. And on exhales, you might drive the weight back into your hips a little bit further. A couple more breaths here. Flutter out your lips. One more inhale, and exhale, stand up. Strong legs. Inhale, lift out of your waistband. And exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale to a half lift. You can press into thighs, shins. And exhale, walk forward. Find your upper push-up plank position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Balls of your feet over your toes. If this is too much, just bring your knees down. Keep your belly up and in. You're still totally working here. All right, we're gonna do another one of my favorite versions of the flow. We have a theme here around the cat-cow thing, having to do with keeping the lungs open. So here we go. We're gonna take an inhale for a plank cow, and exhale for a plank cat. Inhale, plank cow. Exhale, down dog. All right. So in your down dog, pedal it out a little bit, reset. All right. And then bend your knees, tuck your chin, round your spine, and tiptoe to the front of the mat. And when you get there, your feet are hips width distance, about 6 to 8 inches apart. Hang heavy, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, right into a chair. All right. We're gonna be here for about 3 to 5 rounds of breath, depending how long your breaths are. Take one more big inhale. I'm gonna exhale with an SH and stand. Big inhale, reach out of your waistband. And exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Plant your hands on the ground. And then we're gonna step back, but you're gonna notice which foot you step back first. So I'm gonna step back first with my left, and then with my right. And this time, I'm gonna find another version of the flow. These are all optional. I'm gonna inhale, roll forward on my toes. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Squeeze your butt, untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tap your forehead down, strong belly. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. All right, tiptoe all the way forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, chair pose, last chair pose. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your thighs and give yourself some cat-cows if that felt good. Maybe you want to ease out of it a little bit and just stand. You can do that. Couple more breaths. One more big inhale. And stand up. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Okay, so now this time I'm going to step the opposite foot back as I did. I'm stepping my, well, I don't know which foot it is, but I'm gonna step the opposite one back. And I'm gonna pause in an upper push-up plank position. And you're welcome to take any flow you like. We'll meet in a down dog. Let's take a breath. Exhale everything out. So go for an SH. Big inhale. HA. All right. Okay, inhale your right leg halfway up. Press the sole of your right foot as far back as you can and flex your right toes towards your right knee. Think about leveling off your hips. And now, point your right toes to the back of the room, and with an inhale, lift higher. Exhale, bend your right knee and stack your right hip on top of your left. Find some movement here. You can also just find stillness if you like. If this is too much, you can come down to your elbows if that's more comfortable. Really into lip flutters over here. Inhale your legs straight back and exhale, knee to nose. Hold it. Think about really accessing your belly. Squeeze tight, tight, tight. Look between your hands and step it through. All right. Keep your back toes lifted, or if you already know that you want to modify this, you're going to bring your back knee to the floor. Two options. Inhale up, crescent lunge. Okay. So your back heel's lifted up on top of your toes. And with your left glute, you want to squeeze it like a muscle. You want to tighten it as much as you can, like a fist. And once you got that, tighten your belly, pull it up and in, spread your 10 fingers. And with all this work, can you try to let something go? So can you let your back teeth float apart? Can you let the tops of your shoulders soften? On an inhale, lift your heart. And this is a tricky transition. You're gonna peel your back heel to the floor and come into warrior two. Okay, so warrior two, stack your right knee over your right ankle, dig your heels into the floor, really press your heels down. In fact, hover your 10 toes up off the floor and feel your heels gluing down into the ground. Let your toes come back. Wiggle your left fingertips at your back arm. Take an inhale, reach, and exhale your left arm under your right for an eagle wrap. You can also just give yourself a hug. Wherever you are, think about pulling your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back so that your shoulders stack right over your hips. And then lean a little bit further back. Pull your belly up and in so you don't fall over. Take a big inhale and exhale, open up your wings. Look down your right fingertips. One more big inhale here. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the floor. I'm gonna go for a one-legged low flow here. I'm going all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tap my forehead. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, down dog. Pedal it out. All right. Inhale your left leg halfway up. Press the sole of your left foot as far back as you can. Find length. Now point your toes. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, open it up. Oh my God, everything's cracking. Nice. Find a little bit of movement opening. Try to keep both weight or the weight even in your hands. Inhale that left leg straight back and exhale, knee to nose. Squeeze, come up high on the ball of the right foot, look between your hands and step through. Remember, you can have your back knee down. Inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge on the other side. Squeeze your right glute. Pull your belly up and in. Spread your 10 fingers. And then see if, with all that work, something else can release. On your next inhale, reach up, maybe test your balance and look up. And exhale, warrior two. Back heel down. All right, so same thing here. Really dig your heels into the floor. You can almost think about pulling them toward one another. You can hover your 10 toes up off the floor if you want to feel a little muscle engagement in your legs. Keep whatever engagement turned on. Let the toes go soft. Wiggle your right fingertips at your back arm. Take a big inhale, reach, and exhale your right arm under your left. Remember, you can always just give yourself a bear hug here. Stay low in your lunge. Pull your right shoulder back, your left shoulder forward. Lean back into your heels, belly up and in. Take a big inhale. And exhale, open up your arms. Look for your left fingertips. Find another round of breath here. And as you exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor. I'm gonna do this one-legged again. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tap the forehead, strong belly, and down dog. Take it one breath, one movement, or you can find a child's pose. I'll walk you through the first one. Inhale your leg up. Exhale, bend your knee, open it up at the top. Inhale your leg back, and exhale, squeeze and step it through. Inhale, up, crescent lunge. Exhale, open, warrior two, back arm under front arm. Big inhale here, and exhale, hands to the floor. Step it back, find your flow. Take it all on your own on the left side. And meet in a down dog. If you're already in your down dog, just pedal it out. If it's available to you, we'll take a collective breath. Exhale, empty. Big inhale. And HA. All right. Inhale your right toes up and back. Exhale, step it through. This time, peel your back heel to the floor. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. And inhale, rise up, warrior one. So now, both heels are on the ground instead of that crescent lunge. And the way to celebrate that is to really dig your left heel into the floor. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Now from here, take a big inhale. As you exhale, flip your right palm to the sky, and then inhale, reach forward, and exhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm up, left hand to your left leg. Press into the outer edge of your right foot to keep your right knee over your right ankle. And I like to bring my chin to my right armpit. It sounds weird, but it keeps my head screwed on straight. And then take a big inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, come into side angle. So right arm down, left arm reaches straight up. Your arms are in one long line. And you can bring your elbow on top of your right thigh here, and you can look up past your left hand. Take a big inhale to reach up. And as you exhale, extend. Reach your left arm forward with your left palm facing the ground. Roll your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back. Big inhale, reach forward, and as you exhale, reach your arm behind your back. Okay. Now from here, firm up your legs. Big inhale, and exhale, bring your right arm up. So you're making a long line between your left heel and your right fingertip. Send your gaze up towards the ceiling. Big inhale here. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Nice. And cartwheel your hands to the floor. Step it back, choose a flow. All right, we'll take it to the other side. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, squeeze and step all the way through. Back heel to the floor. Warrior one on the inhale. Squeeze your right glute to open up the front of your right hip. Take a big inhale, lift out of your waistband, And exhale, open into your warrior two. In your warrior two, look down your left fingertips. Big inhale to fill up. Exhale, flip your left palm towards the sky. When you're empty, inhale, reach forward. And exhale, reverse. So what you're going for is a side stretch. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, come into side angle. So remember, you can totally just drop your left elbow on top of your left thigh here. It's totally fine. Just try not to drop too much weight there. See if you can be responsible to the integrity of the lower half of the body. That's a lot of words. Look up at the back of your right hand. Take a big inhale. And exhale, come into extended side angle. Reach forward. Inhale and exhale, sweep the right arm behind your back. Nice. And then take a big inhale. Exhale, bring your left bicep up to your left ear. And this should feel like a lot somewhere in your body. Maybe in your core, maybe in your left inner thigh. Let it burn. Take a big inhale. Sweep your left fingertips up. Inhale, open the left side of your body. And exhale, plant your hands to the floor. Step it back, find a flow. And then option to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a break in a child's pose, or you can move one breath, one movement through that, and I'll walk you through the right side. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Peel your back heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. Flip your right palm. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse. Big inhale, open. Exhale, extend. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor. Take it on the left side. So it's basically warrior one, warrior two, reverse, extend, reverse. And when you make it back to a child's pose or a down dog, let's take a child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead to the mat. Let's take a couple breaths. So if it's possible, if it's available, go ahead and exhale everything out. Big inhale. And exhale, EJ. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, down dog. All right, pedal it out here. I need to switch up my headphones because it just gave me the little sound indicator that they're running out. I did one so that I'd have juice. All right, cool. From your down dog, inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Back heel down. All right, from here, we're gonna go into a power lunge. Inhale, arms back to your sides, like airplane wings with your palms facing the ground. You can stay right here. If you want a little bit more opening in your chest, you can reach for your hands behind your back and clasp your knuckles. Take a big inhale, puff your chest open, and then send your arms forward, extended power lunge. We're gonna take a dragon's breath, okay? Exhale everything out. Big inhale. Open your eyes, stick out your tongue. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. Okay, from your warrior two, straighten out your front leg. Two straight legs. We're gonna go into a triangle pose, and you can absolutely shorten your stance here. So you might want a slightly shorter stance, okay? What you're gonna do, you're gonna bump your back hip back and reach your fingers forward. And before you come into triangle pose, as far as you can go right here is as far as you're gonna go. Bring your right hand just down to touch whatever it touches. If it's just your knee, fine. Don't press into your kneecap. Don't put too much weight into your knee, but that's as far as you wanna take it in your triangle pose, okay? Send your gaze up. And that's just in my class. I'm not saying that that's how you always have to do it, but just try something new. Lean back into your heels, belly up and in so you don't fall backwards. Take a big inhale. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Look in front of your right toes. Bend your right knee. Spider crawl your fingertips in front of your right toes, and we're gonna come into standing half moon. So kick your back leg up. Yep, this is the part I was talking about where I'm like, I'm totally gonna fall over. All right, make your standing leg nice and strong, and then flex the toes in that lifted leg. From here, you use the left hand to stack the left hip on top of the right. You might reach your left arm up into the air. You might send your gaze forward. That's definitely gonna mess with your balance. And maybe you hover your fingertips above the floor. Oh, we're gonna meet in a forward fold. That was always the plan. So here we go, forward fold. Let that part be over. Flutter out your lips. In balancing postures, we like to think that our jaw and our face are gonna keep us balanced, but it's not scientifically proven that that works, so let it go. And then from here, tense up on your left fingertips in front of your face. Bend your left knee and inhale your right arm out and up. So we just put a lot of pressure on the right leg. We made it do a ton of work. So this is meant to give you a little bit of a stretch along the outside of the right leg, along the T-band. You can send your gaze up, or you can look down if that's better for your neck. One more big inhale, and exhale your hand down. All right, tuck your chin to your chest, and slowly roll up to standing. And see if you can just let yourself arrive there the way that you are. Just stand. Exhale everything out of your body. On your inhale, squeeze your face, your fists, your butt, your shoulders, everything. And exhale, release, let it go. Heel toe your feet together. Big toes touch, little space between your heels. Take an inhale, chair pose. Okay, so remember when we were in half moon pose? Feel your right heel into the ground. Take a big inhale, lift your 10 fingertips, and exhale, sweep your left arm back. There you go. Nice. Notice if you could bring a little bit more weight into your right heel, and then reach back with your left hand. Take a big inhale, and sweep your arm forward. Inhale, reach up, rise up, and exhale all the way down, let it go. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Okay, so now you're gonna step it back, but you're gonna take note of which foot you step back first so you can switch it up next time. And you're gonna pause in an upper push-up plank position. Totally optional, guys. Totally optional. Okay, bring your big toes together. If you're skipping this, you can go ahead and just kneel, take a sip of water, whatever. Bring your right thumb under your nose, roll to the outer edge of your right foot, and reach your left arm up into the air. Think about pressing your belly button forward and rainbowing your left hip higher. And now to test your balance, look up for the back of your left hand. Find your balance again. You can always bring a knee down. Reach your left arm forward, and maybe you lift a leg. Couple more breaths. Find your upper push-up plank position and breathe. Don't freak out. Isn't the plank so much better than the side plank? Yes, we're gonna take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, pull your heart forward. I'm doing mine in a plank. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Okay, now drop your left knee to the floor. Kickstand your left toes to the outer edge of your mat. Roll your right heel down. Reach your right arm up. Yeah, give yourself a little stretch. Maybe reach your right arm forward. Couple breaths. And tabletop. Cat cows here. And down dog. All right, let's do that whole thing on the other side. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Back heel to the floor. Inhale, arms back to your sides. Now from here, if you want to, you can find the opposite grip behind your back. Clasp your knuckles. Press your knuckles back toward your heel. Take a big inhale, puff up your chest. Exhale, send your arms forward, get empty. Big inhale. Open your eyes, stick out your tongue. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. It's the last time we'll be in warrior two, in case you were keeping a tally or something. Big inhale here, be in it, and then exhale, straighten your leg. You can find a shorter stance if you want to. All right, now you're gonna bump your right hip to the back, reach your left fingertips forward, and when you can go no further forward, left hand drops, right arm reaches up. Look for the back of your right hand so that your arms are in one long straight line. One more inhale, reach up, and exhale your right hand to your right hip. Look in front of your left toes, bring your left fingertips down, and come up into your half moon, now here on the other side. So start by making your right leg really strong. Flex your right toes towards your right knee. Yeah, and then see if you can start to roll the right hip open, stack it on top of the left hip. Maybe reach the right arm up into the air. If that's too much, bring it back to your hip. You can start to press the ground away, not me, not on the left side, not today, not on today. Couple more breaths. You got it. If you fall out, awesome. Means you tried. You can always come back. Forward fold. 2 feet on the ground. Yeah, flutter out those lips. Feet are hips width distance or a little further apart. Right fingertips tent up right underneath your face. Inhale your left arm up for a twist. You guys are all so cute. I can only see little tiny tiles of you, but everybody looks like a whale sending their flipper up above the water. It's so cute. Big inhale, forward fold, let it go. All right, bend in the knees, a little bend to the knees. You're tucking your chin here. You're almost looking up toward your belly button. You're gonna reach for opposite elbow, and whichever elbow you grabbed, switch the grip. Okay, so this is probably your non-dominant. Now keep the little bend in your knees. Roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your forearms over your head. And then from here, take an inhale, lift out of your waistband. A little bend in the knees, start to roll down to the right side. You're gonna visit a forward fold and roll up on the left. Inhale, lift out of your waistband. Roll the way down and come up on the right. And once you make those 2 trips, release your arms down at your sides. Exhale everything out. Big inhale. And exhale, let it go. Heel toe your feet together. Inhale your arms up. Glue your left heel into the floor. Take an inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, right arm down and back, finding a T shape. Now to keep your knees together, you're gonna need to remember what it was like to only have the left foot on the ground, like in that half moon when you were balancing only on one leg. Dig your left heel in, spread the fingers in your right hand, look back, inhale, and exhale, reach forward. Inhale, stand up, and exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, release. And I feel like faking a shoulder injury, so I can skip this side, but I'm not going to. Step it back with the opposite foot. Feet together, big toes touch. Bring your left thumb under your nose. Roll the outer edge of your left foot. Reach your right arm up into the air. Now, if you've got some type of pain in your shoulder, it's never worth it. You can go ahead and come down to an elbow, come down to a knee. If you're up, bump your hips higher. Reach your right arm forward. Couple inhales, maybe lift a leg. Not me on this side. One more big inhale, upper push-up plank. Okay, we're gonna skip the cat-cow and we're just gonna hang in a push-up plank. Close your eyes and breathe. A couple rounds of breath. You can always have your knees down. And let your right knee come down. Peel your left heel to the floor and reach your left arm up. Maybe reach your arm forward. Upper push-up plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, child's pose. Take a couple breaths here. See if you can slow your heart rate down. For me, my heart rate's a little high because I'm trying to talk while I do this. Note to self, maybe don't wear long sleeves and go all out and then put the heat on in your house when you do this, but whatever. Couple breaths. If it's available to you, exhale everything out. Big inhale. And one more just like that when it's all gone. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. All right. Now, again, this is optional. We're going to do a little bit of ab work in a three-legged dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Try to keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, step it all the way through. And then bring your back knee to the floor. Let your hips melt down and forward. Release the top of your left foot to the ground. Let your head just hang heavy here. Big inhale. And exhale, half splits. So rock your hips back until your left hip stacks on top of your left knee, and then scoot your right heel forward. Flex your right toes towards your face. Bump your right hip back. And see if you can let your upper body go a little heavier. You can point your toes away from you. You can pull your toes towards your face. Try it on both ways and see how it feels. Take an inhale, look forward, and as you exhale, come back. Curl your toes under. Step your right foot back, down dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, left knee, left shoulder. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, twist over to the right elbow. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, step it all the way through. Bring your right knee down and just try to release the hips to the floor. Couple more breaths here. Rock your hips back in space. Scoot your left heel further forward on the mat. Tuck your left hip back in space. You're tenting up on your fingertips on either side of your leg. Take an inhale, look forward, and exhale, come all the way forward. Curl your right toes under and step your left leg up and back. Down dog. This is your final down dog, so pedal it out. Notice how it might feel a little differently than the first one. And then just come down to your knees here. If this is not sustainable to kneel in the center of your mat, you're absolutely always welcome to just go ahead and take a sit on your sit bones. You can leave your hands on your thighs, or you can follow along. Take an inhale and send your arms up over your head. Press your hands together at the top, and then pull your thumbs down to the center of your forehead. Go ahead and, with your eyes closed, if it feels accessible, release your shoulders away from the ears a little bit and look up into the center of your forehead, that place where your thumbs are touching your forehead. Just imagine that that little place is the very center of a great big wheel of wild things spinning around you. And as one of my teachers says, there's no need to get your fingers stuck in the spokes. Just be right here. And take a couple more breaths. And bring your hands down to your heart center. Press your thumbs into the center of your chest. Tuck your chin slightly. Again, release your shoulders away from your ears. Feel your heartbeat. Know that if your intention was to do a little mindfulness, a little something for you, you totally nailed that and you did it. Check. Thank yourself for making this time. Forgive yourself for any judgments that came up about you, about Zoom, about anything at all. It's okay. One more big inhale. Hands into your lap, palms face up. Exhale everything out. Inhale through the nose. Make it last as long as you can. And then take another big inhale. This one, open your mouth. Come to sitting on your sit bones. All right. And from here, bring your left foot to the right inner thigh. Rotate your shoulders to square off to your right foot. Inhale your arms up and dig your right heel into the floor, maybe with a little bend of the knee. Think belly button toward the right inner thigh, and release yourself down over that leg. From here, you have a couple different places that you could be feeling this. It may be really strong in the left outer hip, or you may be feeling it a lot in the right hamstring. Maybe you feel it in both. Maybe you feel it somewhere in your thoracic spine. Maybe you feel it somewhere else. Totally fine. Point is, everyone's going to feel this a little differently. You can, again, point your toes away from you. You can pull your toes towards you. See if you can roll your left shoulder a little further down to the ground and let your head get heavy. One more big inhale. And tuck your chin, roll back up, and switch over to the other side. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Rotate your shoulder to square off to your left leg. Arms up, a little bit of a bend in your left knee. Big inhale, and then exhale, lower down. You can reach for your left foot. You can flex those left toes towards you or reach them away, and then take a little inventory of how it feels on this side. On this side, you may feel that the location in your body where you feel the most sensation could move. On one side, you might feel it more in your hamstring, and on another side, you might feel it a little bit more in your hip or your low back. Let your head go heavy. Roll your right shoulder down to the ground. Not to the ground, but towards the ground. And roll back up. All right. And now bring your feet to the floor with a bend to your knees. I learned this from one of my co-teacher friends, Muriel. So you bring one hand under and over, see, between my shins. I'm gonna grab this shin. The other one crosses, comes up over. So it looks like beep, 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 beep. It looks like this. And then you're gonna press into the balls of your feet and into your toes. You're gonna tuck your chin, and you're gonna lean all the way back. So almost like you're reaching the back of your heart to the wall behind you. Take some big breaths. Come all the way back up. I'm gonna go back to my spot here. Okay, you're gonna keep a bend to your knees, and you really want to keep the heels on the floor, almost pulling towards your butt. They're not going to move, but you're activating your hamstrings. Send your arms out, reach your palms up towards the ceiling, tuck your chin to your chest, pull your belly up and in, and we're going to lower down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and pause. You can keep rolling all the way down if you want to. If you're pausing, it's really fun to flutter your lips. A couple times. Face loves to think that it's going to be the thing that holds you here, but I don't think it can. Find the work in the body and the legs and the tummy. Take a big inhale and then keep rolling down. 5, 4, this time all the way down. 3, 2, and 1. Keep your knees bent and go ahead and bend them even more so that you're pulling your heels all the way up towards your butt in preparation for bridge. So you can't see your feet, but think about your feet being hips width distance. All right, now press into your heels and lift your hips up towards the ceiling, and you can stay right here. Think about giving your inner thighs a little squeeze so that your knees stack over your heels. If you want a little more, you can bring your hands under your butt and roll the backs of your arms to the floor so your shoulder blades come closer. If you do this part, you want the heels of your palms to touch. Keep lifting your hips. Let your neck relax if you can. Think about your head being heavy and your heart lifting up towards your chin. So the head is heavy, the heart is lifting. Give your inner thighs a little squeeze and breathe. All right. To come out, if your hands are under your butt, send your arms out into a T shape, okay? Come up on your tippy toes and then slowly roll one vertebrae down at a time. All right. And now we're gonna come into a figure 4, but it's gonna be a little different than kind of like, sometimes we teach figure 4 like it's a throwaway. I think it's a really important posture. You're gonna bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Hope you guys can see me. Okay. And then from here, you're going to pull the lower half of your body up toward your chest, and you're gonna clasp your hands behind your left thigh. The lower half of your body is super active here. So you don't wanna be floppy like this. It's like active lower half of the body, right? So oftentimes you'll find that the biggest hip opener is half pigeon, which relies mostly just on gravity to do the work. In this position, we have a little bit more control, but it requires that we take advantage of that control by using the lower half of our body a lot. So you want to try to keep a right angle in the left leg, right? And flex both sets of your toes. Now roll the weight over into the left side of your sacrum. And once you got that, use the power of the muscles in your hips and in your belly to press the right side of your sacrum down into the floor. It might feel like the outer edge of your right knee is pressing away from you. Try to relax your shoulders. Stay right here. If you're having a hard time with this grip, know that you can also always go against the wall. So keep in your figure four if you're having a fine time. But if it's too much, you go against the wall and you bring your right foot up against the wall and you let your left, or you do it the other way. Yeah. So you can always use a wall for this essentially. All right. From here with your right ankle on top of your left thigh, you're going to release your left arm out to the side, your right arm, sorry, out to the side. You're going to bring your left hand on top of your right foot. And you're going to guide your legs. They're going to stay in the position that they are. You're going to guide them over to the left side of your mat. Your right foot is going to stay on the ground. Can you see me? I think you can. Your right foot stays on the ground, your right knee is pointing up towards the ceiling, and your left leg is bent. And then you can look down your right fingertips. Notice if you're really holding on with your left leg, or if you can kind of let your outer edge of your left leg sink a little further toward the floor. And if this is too much for you, you simply bend your knees on top of one another and go for a little bit more of a gentle twist. Otherwise, you're in a twisted figure four. See if you can close your eyes. There's a muscle called the psoas, and it is the only muscle that fully connects from the top, the torso, all the way to the legs. So there's lots of other muscles in there, but the psoas is the only one that starts in the torso and ends in the legs. So it's responsible for kind of holding the top half to the lower half of our bodies. It's also the muscle that we activate every time we move forward and we walk forward. And it is also the muscle that we activate when we go into sympathetic response around a contraction. We're in fear, we contract inwards. So that muscle does a lot and it works overtime. So this might feel a little uncomfortable. See if you can stay with it. A couple more breaths. And seal this one off. Exhale everything out. Take a big inhale. Come back up to center and visit a happy baby or a dead bug pose. So you can reach for the outer edges of your feet, or maybe you're really more into hooking your peace sign fingers around your toes and doing it that way. Either way, this is meant to neutralize the spine. So think about tucking your chin a little bit towards your chest. And then from here, we take it right into the left side. So bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh. There you go. Strong lower half of your body. think you guys can see me. I don't know. I'll go over here. All right. And we're going to hang out here. So you're clasping your fingers around your right thigh, and then you're going to rock the weight of your body towards the right side of your sacrum. Right? And once you've got the weight of your body over there, then you use the power of the lower half of your body to press the left side of your sacrum down and forward, almost like you're pressing your tailbone down and away from your skull. And you can experiment. Like if you're someone that always thinks you want to do a straight leg, that's fine. Experiment a little bit. Sometimes people don't think they're going to get enough stretch, so they actually reach for the top of their shin. That's totally cool too. Find the place that works for you. Couple more breaths. And then we're going to go into our twist. So to prepare for it, the left arm goes straight out to the side, palm face up. The right hand finds the top of your left foot. You give yourself a little rub, hey foot. And then you gently guide that left foot down to the right side of your mat. And your right leg stays bent. And you can send your gaze then down your left fingertips. And this is a little bit more like half pigeon, where we're just kind of doing our best to give it up to gravity, to surrender. All right, let's take a breath. Exhale everything out. Take a big inhale, biggest one. And come back up to center. This time, just kick your legs up into the air, legs up the wall without a wall. Or if you want to go to a wall, that's fine. Totally fine. The nice thing about hovering is that you give your abdomen a little bit more time to work, because oftentimes here you may find that you are gripping in your chest and in your musculature all around your throat. Try to release that and bring the work into your pelvic floor and into your belly. And you can have a little bend to your knees, totally cool. You can point your toes towards the sky, you can pull them towards your face, whatever. We're just trying to let the fluids reverse motion a little bit. And you may feel like a little bit of a cooling sensation behind your knees. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, never checked. But really be here for a little while. Keep activating the low belly just to keep your feet in the air, trying to let yourself soften around your throat and your chest. And then bring your feet to the ground with a bend in the knees. Bring the soles of your feet to touch, butterfly your knees apart. And give yourself a final little hip opener here, inner thigh stretch. If you want, you can kind of gather your shoulder blades up under your heart a little bit. It can help you broaden the collarbones and let your palms just face the sky. Now you're welcome to stay right here as long as you like. Or you can straighten your legs out at any time. When you are ready to straighten your legs out, you'll come into your Shavasana. Legs out long. You might want to put a sweatshirt on or grab a little blankie off your couch or something. Let your feet separate. So let your heels separate and let your big toes flop away from one another. Your palms can be facing up, or maybe it feels a little better to bring hands to the body. Maybe you can rest your palms anywhere you want. Now, oftentimes we make a really big deal in class out of stillness. We talk a lot about how you should be perfectly still, especially in this posture. However, the ancients thought that this posture symbolized death, the ultimate stillness. So, put plainly, you're just not going to nail it, right? You're alive. You're not going to knock utter bliss out of the ballpark anytime soon because you're alive. So, whatever distractions are happening right now, that's fine. That's because you're breathing. That's allowed. See if you can come back to your breath though in those moments. Maybe you close your eyes and you look up at the center of your forehead and you just trace 3 inhales and 3 exhales out and see if that helps you stay a little longer. And whenever you choose to be done, see if you can let that decision come from inside you, not from an invitation from the outer world, not a feeling of I should get up now. You can stay here as long as you like. I'm going to end class with a little quote and a little thank you. And I will hopefully do something like this again. So please share with me any feedback that you have. Just keep one ear open for this little moment here, and then I hope you'll stay in your Shavasana, even if you've got friends around you doing whatever they're doing. So our quote today is one of my favorite quotes, and I like to think of it sometimes like it's a to-do list, because to-do lists are great, but they're definitely so pragmatic, right? And I love this one. And the quote is, walk tall, kick ass, learn to speak Arabic, love music, and never ever forget that you come from a long line of truth seekers, of lovers, and of warriors. Stay strong, my loves, in this time. Find your inner warrior. Thank you for being here together. I love you all so much, even if I don't know you. All right, see if you can stay in your Shavasana a little bit longer.